So hello everyone, it's your girl Gel Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today we finna get into ranking. Well, sorry, not ranking, but I guess all the palettes that I've liked so far in 2021. And y'all know I'm testing palettes every 15 minutes. God knows there are a lot of palettes that we about to see. I've kind of put them off in sections, so I have like influencer brands and makeup artist brands. Then I have indie brands and like you know, YouTubers that are known for indie makeup and their collabs in one category. And then I have affordable brands, and I have one indie collab in the affordable brands just because, well, they collab with affordable brand. And then I have honorable mentions because, I mean, we can't just make a video without honorable mentions. Not to mention we have luxury things to talk about. So this is about to be a long video. I'm going to try not to ramble along and do a whole bunch of explanations as to why things are where they are. I'll probably try to link as many of the videos I can up there. I don't, knowing me, I'm not gonna put it in the description box. I'm not even gonna lie to tell you that. But I'm trying to link as many as I can in this video, but y'all know I can only do like 5, so it's gonna be 5. Random side note, check out this gorgeous shade. This is Gecko from Menagerie, and spoiler alert, Menagerie will be in this video. It's one of their gorgeous palettes that came out this year. But look at that, that's just amazing. I just had to share it with y'all. If you don't see the sparkly, wonderful glitteriness of this, I don't. And this was $6, mind you. It's one of the newest shades they came out with. It's called Gecko. You need to get your hands on. But let's start with these honorable mentions because I got like 5 of them. I know, right? Isn't that an insane amount? Let's start off with this one though. This is the Dose of Colors Smoky Soirees palette. I remember Karen saying she didn't like these palettes that well, so that's why I didn't rush off to buy them. But when they had their birthday sale, they always had 50% off everything during the birthday sale. So I was like, I'll try out then. And I was pleasantly surprised by this palette. But y'all know I love me a good smoky eye moment. So what I did was I used the red out of the Colored Rain palette when I did the eye look on Instagram. Then I used these looks. It was inspired by the owner of Mented Cosmetics. I forgot what her name is, but she did this gorgeous red and black look on the Mented Cosmetics page as well as her own personal Instagram page. So that's when I was like, ooh, yes, okay. I was inspired, so I did one with the Beetlejuice and palette, and then I did one with a palette that, you know, you could actually get your hands on. So that way if you want to recreate my look, you could. But this palette worked really nice. I was pleasantly surprised by it. I was kind of paranoid because of what Karen said about it, but I liked it. I mean, I've only used it once, that's why it's just an honorable mention, but I thought it was nice enough to mention, so that's why it's an honorable mention. The next one I have is the Cabana Club palette from Colourpop. I really like this palette. It's just more of, I feel like I have combs or timber to it, but the formulation of the palette is nice. It's just there's a lot of neutrals in it, and then like maybe like these 3 pops of colors of what I would normally use. Sorry, 4 if you count this pink right here. So I'm like, it's not all that to me. I guess it could be like a mini Circo Loco when you think about it, of a main chick side chick. If my Circo Loco was in the right condition, I would show it to you and do main chick side chick, but it is not. So I might put it back just to show it to y'all. I might just pop in a picture of it in that, but now that I've seen it like that, to me it's like a poor man's version of the Circo Loco palette. And you know, if you don't want to spend that kind of money, you can always just get your hands on this. You can go on your local Ulta and pick it up, or you can go to Colourpop's website and get it from there. But it's an honorable mention because I did like the palette. It's just more of, since I have so many palettes to talk about and there are other ones I want to reach for way more than that one, I didn't want to put it in the top like, yes, it's it, but at the same time I didn't want to not talk about it at all because I do like it. It's just I don't like it as much as everything else. Same thing with this Party in Puerto Rico. Y'all know I'm not a warm tone fan, and I'm not the only one who felt like this one wasn't as good quality as the other ones. I remember, and Jessica was talking about she didn't like this one as much as she liked the Party in Paris one. Sorry, not Party in Paris. I forgot what it is. Something in Paris. It's a, where is it? Passion in Paris. But yeah, I don't like this one nearly as much as I like Passion in Paris. I mean, the eye look I did came out nice. That's why it ended up being a thumbnail, because it was bomb. I'm not gonna say it wasn't, but it's just, I feel like the work I had to do with it to get that eye look wasn't as easy as it was with the Paris one, and plus the Paris one is just tones I like better. Sorry y'all, eyeshadows everywhere and I'm scared they're gonna fall and break and then I'm gonna be bad. So the next one I have is the America Parks palette from Nomad Cosmetics. Now mind you, I've only used this palette twice, which is why it's just an honorable mention. I did do an Instagram look for you all with it. I did these colors. I haven't posted the picture yet because I didn't do a video. I just been making pictures lately, but y'all know I did the greens in the video, and then I did this section over here in the video. So this is the only section I really didn't use in a video, but I did do a picture of it, and you'll see it hopefully sometime this week. It's a really nice palette. I don't like it as better as I like my Fire and Ice. Like, it will never hold up to my Fire and Ice, but it is a nice palette, and I feel like it's a good companion palette to my Fire and Ice, because if I want to add some greens, or if I want to add some warmer tones that go with the Fire and the Fire and Ice palette, I could do so with this palette. And then if I want to have like blues and purples, then I have this little purple section right here, and I can smoke it up with this, and then I can still use like this little purple shade and these deepening tones to make it work. So it's maybe a nice companion palette for my Fire Nice palette, but this is not as good as my Fire Nice. The last companion palette I have to talk about before we actually get into the palettes I want to talk about, and honey, I'm telling y'all, it's boxes sitting around me. It's just a whole bunch of foolishness going on, child. It's a whole thing. Anyway, this is Natasha's Zendo palette. Now, I do like this palette. It's just I like another palette better, and it's actually an affordable one that we'll get into right after this. But I didn't want to not mention this at all, because it's not like it's not a good palette. It's just the shimmers in here don't perform the way the other shimmers and the other Natasha Denona palettes form. So I do like it, but it doesn't give you those foil, like glittery extra shimmers that I'm used to having with her palettes. And I think that's what disappointed people with this, because it's not the formula of the mattes that's the problem to me. My personal opinion is like the shimmers just aren't as good as like they normally are in other palettes. But I still like the palette, which is why it's an honorable mention. It's just more of, I like a drugstore one better that gives me the shimmers and the mattes, and has a more, it's like a brighter version of this one. You all saw me, if you watch this channel regularly, you saw I did the Battle of the, so you'll know what palette I'm talking about. We're not gonna get into it right this second, because I got a whole bunch of e.l.f. and Colourpop to talk about. So let's get into that. So e.l.f., I got the Meant to Be collection palettes. I thought these palettes were so cute. And I think they pair well together, and they're like for $4 a piece. I don't see how you can go wrong, because if I remember correctly, these were 4 and not 3 like the bite sizes, just because they're mint colored and limited edition. So I guess that's why they needed the extra $1. I don't know, sis, child, don't start me the line. I don't know. All I know is they were like $4 a piece, and I definitely think they were worth the $4 a piece. I actually have these at home right now in my drawer. I need to I'm trying to decide if I should leave them here or not. I left an e.l.f. bite size one here though to compare when I need to do for videos and stuff, and I took the majority of them home, because I'm trying to take the majority of everything home. So there's that. Next, I have the Haunt, what is it, the Haunt collection? I believe that's the collection that these came out of. And I really like these palettes, the majority of them anyway. I wasn't that fond of the Statement Piece one, but the 2 hot one I'm definitely here for. Cashmere Forever, of course. High Society, and then there is Rumor Has It. So all the color stories of these are great. I did an eyeshadow video comparing these. I did a look with these 3 palettes right here, and then I did a look with these 2 right here. So if you want to see my thoughts on them, you can go ahead and check these out. But I just think these are great colorful palettes at a very affordable price. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money on color and you're not really big on color, I think those are like $5 or $10 a piece, and you can just pick whatever color that you were concentrating on or really wanted. And then that way you have a colorful palette for when you want to use color, but then you don't have to worry about buying a palette mixed with colors and neutrals and then not using any of the colors, or having to reach for that palette just to get some colors out of it. You can have just a colorful dedicated palette that gets the job done with different finishes and different textures and different colored mattes and things like that. I really like those palettes. Surprisingly, I liked a lot of Colourpop stuff, because I got a whole little stack of Colourpop sitting here with me, and the year isn't even over yet. So they're coming back and trying to do some things, and I'm like, okay, I'm over here on the sidelines watching. I'm available when, you know, I feel like it looks good on me or good for me. So next I have the High Tide palette. This is what she looks like on the inside. This palette, we all knew I was getting this palette, okay? I mean, I'm wearing blue eyeshadow now. We knew what this was. We knew what this was. We knew I was getting this palette. We knew I was going to review it. We knew I was most likely going to love it, because look at the tones in it. Like, these are just my tones of purple. I really like tealy looking purples. I mean, blues, and then like these types of blues. So like this palette is mostly me. Like, this is when I want to do a dark murky one, like this eye right here. And then this is when I do a more like bright eye, and this one I'm doing more tealy eye. So this is just a perfect palette for me, and I feel like it would be a great companion palette for the other 2 Colourpop palettes that came out that were blue, like what is it, On Cloud Blue, and then Blue Moon. I feel like this would go great with those. So I mean, I know everybody's tired of them doing monochromatic palettes. I'm tired of them doing monochromatic palettes too, but whenever they do a blue monochromatic palette, I just feel compelled to buy it, because I just love blue eyeshadow. If you've been here any amount of time, again, you know this. What do I love? I love blues, I love greens, I love purples. So those are the eyeshadows I like. I'll occasionally do like pinks and reds. And in the summertime is when I'll do more fiery, like orangish red looks. But as a general rule, we do blues, we do greens, and we do purples here. Okay? Okay. Glad you're aware. Moving on. Next, I have the Lush Life palette. I just recently did a video on this again. I mean, I feel like you should be able to notice the theme and why I picked it up. Look at this gorgeous little section right here. And then, like, when I do have the off chance I want to do those colorful shades, I'd like to do them. Sometimes it's already in the palette, these oranges and these right here. And then on the off chance when I'm in a rush and I need to do a neutral eye, I can reach up. Sorry, it's reflective and annoying. I can do these right here, and that'll be perfect. So I am in love with this palette. The quality of this is actually really nice too. This is one of my favorite Colourpop launches of this year. I feel like I could just do a video about my favorite Colourpop launches of this year, because as you know, Colourpop always has a whole bunch of launches, but it's like I'm already doing this, so that's enough, because they just, by the time I get done with this video, they will have launched 3 other collections. Okay, ain't nobody got time. Colourpop quit playing. But they've been doing a lot of collabs with things from my childhood, which I'm really here for and the vibe and loving. Like, for example, this Lizzie McGuire palette, What Dreams Are Made Of. This color story of this was really sold me. It's just like a more muted version of the Poppy Cosmetics Neon Dripping palette that I showed you all when I showed you the comparison of it. But I like this one because I feel like the colors are easier to work with. Like that palette I feel like it's difficult to work with, but this one I feel like works really nice. The color story is really nice and I'm here for it and living for this. Plus, if you already know, I was a huge Lizzie McGuire fan. Like I watched Lizzie McGuire. Like I have the Lizzie McGuire movie on DVD still to this day. Like we were all about Lizzie, okay? And if you didn't know, my middle name is Elizabeth, so that's another reason I was all about it. I'm like, yes, Lizzie, go, go, Lizzie. So the next palette I have to talk about is the Colourpop and Malibu Barbie palette. Now y'all know I was all about this. Like look at these cute little pinks, and then it has my pops of blue, and then it has like a yellow. Y'all saw the look I did in the Colourpop video. I'll try to remember link it up above. That was like one of my favorite looks I've done this year. Like with this palette, I thought it was gorgeous. I think it worked pretty well. The only thing is, of course, y'all know I had to use the yellow base for the yellow eyeshadow just because with my skin tone I felt like it wasn't gonna pop. But you can do a nice little warm moment right here. Like put this orange on the lid, makes this brown for your outer V. Put that in your inner corner. Then you can do the look that I did, which was with the I used the blue, the pink, and the yellow, and make a nice look with that. So it's like, it's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with this palette. I thought it was a really nice palette. I thought the quality was really good. But I feel like when it comes to their collabs, they have a tendency to do better quality depending on who the collab is with. And they definitely did a good job on this one, and you will get no complaints from me. I was very happy with what I got. Now, a palette that isn't a collab that I just absolutely loved and was so happy I got, and I'm not really big on neutrals. But like when they do neutrals with a pop of blue, I hate to say it, but sometimes I fall sucker for it. And the Limoncello one is definitely one I fell sucker for. Believe it or not, this palette is $9 on Ulta's website right now. So go and grab it while you can, honey. The formula on this is amazing. I love this blue shade right here, obviously though. And then of course I like the greens and then this weird dual chroma shade here. But I don't necessarily have a problem with the oranges or the yellow in this palette either. I've actually used this palette like 3 or 4 times. I did a few neutral looks with it when I first started working on my job because I didn't know how they were going to feel about the crazy eye looks that we know I love to do. But once I found out they were okay, I didn't reach for it as much, obviously, because I love my color and I love to use color. But since I had it, I was like, we're going to try out the neutrals in it and see how they go. This palette overall just performs really well. This is one of their best collabs with, one of their first palettes that they made on their own. But since they do so many palettes every 15 minutes, like I said, while this video is up, they just came up with 3 collections. That's why you don't really get the full experience of Colourpop. But that's all the Colourpop I have to talk about. But I feel like that's a lot. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we got that whole collection of the other 5, which makes 10. So we had 10 Colourpop palettes to talk about. And then we had an honorable mention. So technically we had like 11 Colourpop palettes to talk about. And I'm quite impressed with the fact that I do. So we still got some more drugstore to talk about, so let's get these drugstore ones out the way real quick. I have LA Girl. I feel like y'all knew LA Girl was coming, and y'all knew this main stage palette was gonna be here, even if the other one I'm gonna talk about after this wasn't. Like, honey, only thing about LA Girl, I can't stand that this shimmers break so easily. Like, this shimmer has smushed itself very disrespectfully while it was in my backpack on its way over here. So I'm like over here trying to press and get life in order so it doesn't fall all over my pants, because I always fall a little on my pants when I started this video. So I will say their shimmers are really soft. This one right here, that's the one that fell out. But look at this color story. This color story is like made for me. It's blue, it's green, and then it's like those neutrally mauvey shades for when I do want to do like a neutral toned look. And this is the shade that I had to press back in, but look how nice that is. And this is like a $15 palette, but it performs really, really nice. The mattes are nice. The shimmers are really reflective and nice. The only thing I'll say about these is, like I said, the shimmers are really sensitive, so you need to be careful with that. But for the price, I think this is a really good palette. And then I caught mine on sale for like $11, and then I got the coupon on top of that. So I got this palette for like $9, y'all. This is definitely worth $9. It is absolutely amazing, and you need to get in your life. The other one I got at I think $12, but I still don't think that's bad. This is the Hey Hey Vacay. This is the one I was talking about that we compared to the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. I actually like this one better than the Natasha Denona Zendo palette, just because I feel like the colors in here are brighter, and Natasha's colors are kind of toned down, which are fine, and for her normal fan base that works just fine. But when I can get the option of color, even though I am one of the people who normally buys her palettes, I'd rather have the color. So obviously, since these blues are brighter and these reds are brighter, I'm more prone to liking to use this palette. But she does have some unique dual chroma shimmers in her palette. It's one that I can't remember the name of that I really like, that I like to use in the inner corner and like to put on top of the lid for extra pop. So I feel like I could use both these palettes together and that would give me a nice combination of what I want, because I have my brighter, more vivid mattes, but I still have like my nice dual chroma unique shimmers that are in her palette. So I might go ahead and do that, I don't know. But I really like this palette. And I used it like a few times. I think I used it like 3 or 4 times. That's a big deal considering I have to review palettes every week. But I still made time to use it because I liked it that much. Next, I feel like this is no surprise. This is the BH Cosmetics Passion in Paris palette. I mean, look at it. It's like Blueberry Muffin's older sophisticated sister or something. I don't know. But it has my what is it, my blues and my purples, and then it has like my mauve type shades at the bottom. So it's like when I want to do my smoky eyes, I can go towards the top with my blues and my purples, and then when I want to do more of my neutral smoky eye, I can go down here to the bottom to the more plummy mauve shades, which we know is a thing that I really love. So that's why I like this one more than I like the Party in Puerto Rico palette, but mainly because I just like the quality of that one better. So I feel like it blended easier and worked easier, and it is a great companion palette to the Blueberry Muffin, whereas the Party in Puerto Rico palette I feel like would be a great companion palette to the Mimosa palette, because you got to think it has those pinks and oranges in it that'll help bring out the vibrancy of the other colors that are in the Party in Puerto Rico palette. So I feel like those would be cute palettes to be compared up to companion palettes or mashups. Next, I have the Naked Tutorials and Beauty Bay palette. I'm pretty sure that came out this year. So many palettes came out this year. I don't know. My apologies if it didn't. But I do like to use this palette a lot. I love that she made her brother the heart of the palette. The red shade right here. I love to use his shade a lot. And y'all know I usually go for the cool tone side. So I usually go for this side over here. Every once in a while I'll use this side over here. But it's just not like my favorite. I feel like the shades are a little bit too light in it. And then I don't necessarily know what kind of color story I would go for with that side. Whereas the other side has the blue, it has the green. And it has some of those deeper, smokier outer V shades that I like to use. I'm just mad that I'm on the makeup shamer side, because that's the makeup shamer side is my favorite side. But it's like, I guess I gotta be on the makeup shamer side, because I feel like that shade side is way better than the other side. I don't know what that noise was I just heard, y'all. Anyway, back to the business. So let's get into the YouTuber slash makeup artist brands. So I'm gonna start off with, I'm late to the game with this brand. One of y'all told me this is Playing in Makeup with Yolanda. I love this Jamrock No Limitations eyeshadow palette. Hunt. Where was I don't know. I'm glad I found myself. But she had a 50% off sale, and I have been following the brand because I heard KK, aka Colorful Camille, here on YouTube talking about this brand and how much she loved and how she had all the palettes from them. And when I saw this color story, I was like, this color story is mine right here. From that brand, this is the one I need to get. So when you know what I'm saying, for like 25 bucks, I was like, yes, please give it to me. I snatched, I grabbed, and then I got another one too. I think it's called Rebirth or something. I don't know. But I was like, I need both these palettes. And I had to get this one for sure. This is the one I've used the most. This is the one I like the most. I do have the other one. It's in the drawer down here. It's just not my favorite. I mean, because when I can use a grungy, colorful story like this, why would I even want to reach for that one? So this one lives in my house because it is my favorite. And then the, what's the other one? The Rebirth Jamrock one lives here at my grandmother's house, just so I can have something to next brand I have is Made by Mitchell. This is the Feet on the Ground palette. I have both the palettes, the Head in the Clouds and Feet on the Ground. I just love Feet on the Ground so much more, and when you see the color story, you'll understand why. But I mean, it's me talking about. Look at this color story. Tell me this is not an amazing color story. Let's look at it. This is definitely more of a color story that's up my alley, because I can use this row and make a look. I feel like I can use this row and make a look. I feel like every row in this palette that I can make a look with. Whereas with the Head in the Clouds, I feel like it's more of a jumbled mess, and I can't necessarily come up with a unique eye look. Not that any of the eye looks I make with these palettes are going to be unique, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's so jumbled and out of this world, it's like I wouldn't be able to come up with anything just to make with that. I felt like it was difficult enough when I did try to do like I think 2 or 3 looks with that palette, so I don't really reach for that one. But this is the one that's for me. I just wanted to get both because they had a bundle deal, so I went ahead and got both. Plus I figured I need both for reference if he comes up with future palettes and things like that, so why not get it while it was on a deal. I think I bought it when they had a box sale, or they had a 40 or 50% off sale, so that's how I ended up with that palette. And same thing with this palette, the Lunar Beauty Eternal Eclipse palette. I love Manny's formula, so don't get it twisted. It was just more of like the color story wasn't exciting enough to me to buy this at full price. So when Beauty Bay had it, I think it was like 30% off is when I went ahead and bought this palette. That's why y'all got the review so late. My bad. But I had told y'all when it first came out, I was like, I love his formula, but like this pop of blue row and these boring 2 rows worth of neutrals was gonna make me buy it at regular price, and so I stuck to my guns and I didn't buy it at regular price. But I feel like I can make the same look on this eye with this row right here. I really love this palette though, y'all. Like, it is gorgeous, it is beautiful, it's wonderful, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. So I've used it like 3 or 4 times as well. When I use a palette like 3 or 4 times, and y'all know I have to review palettes every week, that's how I can tell that I really like it and I really like the color story, and it's really something I want to use a lot. So that's how I end up putting in videos like this. Now when we get to the influencer indie palettes or collabs or brands or whatever, I feel like you'll know like which ones are in here for the most part. And then when it comes to my high-end ones, I feel like for the most part you should know those too. So I'm gonna get this brand out the way, since I have 2 different kinds of eye things from this brand, but I really like both of them for different reasons. And this is Lethal Cosmetics. So I love these 2 palettes. This is Velvet Dust right here, and then this is After Dark. Now After Dark is a pastel palette that I feel like works on people my skin tone. They give you your stickers so you can customize it your way, so that's the way I did mine. But yeah, look at these. Like, these pastels actually go dark on the eyes, darker than they look in the pan. So this is one of those palettes with deceiving color stories, but it's like it works in my favor. So I mean, I'm not complaining, but it goes on darker than it does in the pan, which makes it perfect for people like me to use. And I feel like it looks great on my skin tone. And I was scared to get it, but I saw Karen with it, and I was like, we'll go ahead and risk it, because I wanted to try the formula of the brand. And I wasn't let down. So that's what made me buy this Velvet Dust palette. Because I think when I first bought these, I had bought After Dark, and then I waited for it to arrive. And then when I found out about Velvet Dust coming out, and I mean, like, look at this. Is this really not a color story that I would use, especially in the fall or just year round in general? Like, look at this. We know this is my type of color story, and Lethal killed it with this color story. I can't wait to see what next palette they come out with for next fall, because I'm here and I'm available. But they're probably going to wait a little while, because the Teresa is dead. Lethal is dead palette is out right now, so they don't want to outshine her palette by coming up with their own color story and making it like awesome and making me want to buy that after I just bought hers. The only thing that sucks is I bought my face palette with hers, because I had asked them on their page when they were going to bring the face palette back. So they brought the face palette back, but now I have to wait for my face palette to ship with her palette, which means it won't get here till like damn near September, like sometime in September. But that's okay. It's not like I don't have a million face palettes to choose from. I just showed y'all face palettes in the video, with a highlighter face palette, a blush face palette. I don't think I have a bronzer face palette in this video, but none came out this year I was interested in. Anyway, the liquid eyeshadows. Now remember I told y'all I don't like these as eyeshadows, and I stand by that. I do not use these as eyeshadows as a general rule. If anything, I'll use them for a base and then put like a shimmery dual chrome on top of it. I feel like it'll give extra glitter and sparkle too, and I try to make sure that it matches this color that's in the tube. But I mainly like to use these for liquid eyeshadows. I'm not liquid eyeshadows, sorry, liquid eyeliners. Because I heard Annette's makeup corner saying she was going to do that, because like I said in that video, I don't really like black based liquid eyeshadows. However, I do really like these to use for my dual chrome singles that I have at home, or use them as liquid eyeliners to give it extra pop. Like if I was doing a boring brown eye look with the Limoncello palette, I would like use this and maybe like run the blue underneath the lower lash line, and then make this like a liner, so that way I could have a cool unique eye look, but still like be, I guess, somewhat what people would call work appropriate. I don't know, but I like these for that. I was thinking about getting some more colors, but I didn't see any more colors that were intriguing to me. So it's like, I think we're just gonna stick with the ones I have. Let's see. Let's talk about the brand I swatched on my hand earlier that I showed you all the wonderful, gorgeous greenness of. This is the Flight Club from Mented Cosmetics. And I mean, does anybody even have to guess why I bought this palette? I mean, look at the dual chromes in here. Plus, they brought this palette to replace the, what is it? Let me see, the violet ink. Yeah. So I have the violet ink right here. Let me show it to you. So they brought this in as permanent to replace this palette. I actually had to buy Mimic because mine fell out and broke. So I just got it in the mail today with the other singles that I, well, not today, like this week, along with the singles that I had ordered from them. I got them Saturday. So that's how I had this swatched over my finger and went underneath my nail when I went to take it out of this packaging. But this palette is stunning. They had a pre-order. I'm not pre-order. They had restocked this one. But I'm sure it sold out when the Annette's Makeup Corner one sold out, along with just about everything else. The only thing they didn't sell out was, I think, Whale Song, Feral, and, what was it? Killer Purr. And those will probably sold out by the time I'm talking to you about this. Look, I don't know when you're going to see this video, but this palette right here is stunning. I am so glad I got it in my collection. Even though I have the Viseart purple palette, I still like this one more. I just like the dual chrome in it and the shades of purple that they picked, because I feel like they picked a lot of darker tones of purple that'll work better for like my skin tone, especially for out of V shades and things like that. And I feel like lots of brands lack when it comes to that, so I definitely am appreciative of that and I'm excited that they did that. So the next palette I have to talk about is the Break the Rules palette from It's Belle Cosmetics. I was talking to the owner on Instagram and I really liked the fact that she is very responsive and tries to talk to all the people who talk to her, and like if you tag the brand and something, they always go and like your picture. I really like that she's really involved in like that. And plus, look at these shimmers, like they're amazing. I want to compare this to the Don't Be Jelly palette though, because I did order and I feel like they look somewhat similar, but when it's swatched, it doesn't look the same. So I want to see, like, when I get it in person, are they going to look the same and be the same? But this is really nice. Like, I could compare these shimmers to Pat McGrath, and y'all know I don't play about my Pat McGrath. Like, I take Pat McGrath very seriously. So the fact that I'm willing to possibly compare these shimmers to Pat McGrath should tell you everything you need to know. It's a really big deal. These are really amazing shimmers, and I am obsessed. Do you hear me? Obsessed. So the next brand I have to talk about is Uten's Eye, or is it Uten's Eye? I don't know. But this is the Norns palette. This is a gorgeous palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. I mean, look at how amazing this is. It has that grungy darkness to it, but it still has like bright dual chromey shimmers at the bottom for you to put with it. So it's like, I did a look with, I believe, this shade. I don't remember what all shades I did and the look I did, but I have a video for this. And I'm pretty sure this came out this year, even though they just had another collection drop. So that's what makes me confused sometimes when brands have like 2 and 3 collections drop. I'm like, well, did this one come out this year? But I'm pretty sure it did. If it did, my bad. This is a gorgeous palette though. This is me all fall. This is going to be me and just grungy, gorgeous colors. And I cannot wait to use it some more, because right now I'm trying to do spring thing and, you know, use light purples and stuff like that. But I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm available. And as soon as fall hits, I'm going to be trying to grab for that palette and make a video about it. Okay, so we're almost done. Let me see. I'm trying to get all the one palettes out the way, and I'm going to end with the YouTuber collabs or influencer collabs. The next one I talked about this brand early in honorable mentions, but I told y'all it would never beat this palette, which is the Fire and Ice palette from Nomad. Oh my god, y'all. I mean, if this is not me personified in a palette in some form, because it's like I got my smoky tones right here. I got the, you know, like the fire tones like I was talking about for when I want to do a summer look. I got my blues for just me loving blues. And I got these green and purples that I can add with my blue matte or with my smoky shades to make the whole look come together. So this palette was made for people like me. I absolutely love this palette. Honey, this is my favorite Mented Cosmetics palette. So it's just chef's kiss. Next brand I have to talk about is Alien Cosmetics. I just talked about them in the Don't Be Jelly palette. I'm waiting for that to ship. I think it cost me like $70-something. I still need to get Fairy Flock, and then they have one coming out on the 30th or the 31st of this month that I have to get as well. So it's like I got a whole bunch of stuff I got to get. But this is the Serendipity Palette from Alien Cosmetics. I think that's the name of it, or is this Forbidden Apple or something like that? I don't exactly know. It doesn't say on the packaging. It just says Serendipity when it comes to the picture, but I think that's the artist that made the palette. Anyway, this is the color story. Look at it. It kind of reminds me of the Norns palette from Olden's Eye, so I'm wondering if it'll be a good companion palette to that palette. I know I've paired the Norns palette with the Kaleidos Club Nebula and Angelica palette, because I feel like they did a really good job as well, but this is what it looks like. I feel like it would go really well with the Norns palette as well. Let's open her up and see. I had just put her back in the box trying to be all professional and nice. Now I get pull it out again. Oh well, child. Oh well. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the mattes in here would go well with this palette for what it's lacking, because you see it doesn't have a green. It just has that dark blue. And I feel like some of the darker mattes in here would work well with the shades in here. So this might be a good companion palette setup as well. I want to do a video on my favorite palette companions. So it's like you put one palette with this palette, or palette mashups as I call them. But I'm trying to debate and see how well that'll go, because y'all don't seem to like when I do palette mashup videos. Even though I feel like the color stories look nice and I do a good job, but it just seems like y'all don't really be intrigued by it. Anyway, next I have the Strawberry Milkshake palette. I knew I had to get this palette, and this is made by the same artist, Serendipity, but I really loved the color story when I saw this, because I felt like it was so unique. It had the greens, it had the pinks, it had this bright, I feel like it has this chartreuse greenish yellow going on in it, and I feel like it's just a gorgeous palette. Now I don't necessarily need this shade. I wish I could replace it with something else, like Adept Cosmetics was letting you do when it's like certain shades and palettes you don't want. If you want more mattes and you don't want it shimmer heavy, you could change it out. I wish I could change this out, but you know, it's fine. It's one shade out of everything in here, so I'll survive. It's not like it's like Urban Decay where every single palette they make has this shade in it, as if like you don't have other palettes from them that will have that shade. So, you know, it'll suffice and be fine for me. But it's just me being picky with like having this shade in here and me not necessarily want to be bothered with it. But considering the color story of it, I'll survive. Because it's just too gorgeous for me not to have owned it just because of that one shade. I'd have to be crazy. Okay, so this is the last indie brand that's not a collab palette. And this is Mented Cosmetics. So y'all know, as soon as I saw Ninhydra, because when I saw Plain Jane, I was like, oh, that's cute. But when I saw Ninhydra, honey, I was like, okay, they got my attention now. Like, do you see this? Do you see this packaging? Oh, do you see these colors? Like, if this is not me condensed in a palette, I feel like I could use my Viseart Dark Mattes palette. Dark Matte Edit. No, it's Dark Matte or Dark Matte Edit. And just use these shimmers and I would just have everything I need. Like, look at these gorgeous shimmers. And then they have the duochrome sparkliness to it. Or I could take any matte grungy dark cool tone palette and work with this one for the shimmers, and I feel like it would just be beautiful. Then I have, of course, the Codeine palette. I have done looks with both these palettes. I made Instagram videos and everything because I was really feeling these palettes. They are absolutely stunning. I have like singles from the brand that I had bought originally a long time ago because of Angela Mary Turner showing them off on her thing, and she was like, they're $6. I'm like, wait, they have sparkle like that and it's $6? Where do I sign up? Hello, yes, I want to be recruited. So this is what Codeine looks like. This one is limited edition. I'm pretty sure Ninhydra is as well. Don't quote me though. But I want to get the Plain Jane palette too. I bought one, but I ended up putting it in my giveaway for when we make it to 500 here on YouTube. I was like, when we make the 500, y'all can have the Plain Jane palette that I had bought for myself because I wanted to keep it myself. But I was like, you know, I want to have a decent amount of stuff for my giveaway too, and since we're only like 20 followers away, I was like, let me go ahead and just, you know, sneak it on in there. And I told you all in that video I would, so we just 20 away once we get there, or if we get to my birthday first, I might put it in that one instead of making you wait, but we'll see how it goes. So the first palette I have, now you haven't seen this on my channel, but I've done like 2 or 3 looks with it on Instagram. I think I did 2 looks on Instagram with it. I still want to play with it some more though, and it just got back in the restock. So if you have not guessed, this is the It's Freaking Bats by Beauty Bean and Shroud Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. This is what it looks like on the inside, and I feel like she killed the color story of this palette. Again, I feel like this would be this is a palette I can use alone. I love the colors in here, but at the same time I feel like I could pair this with something else. Like, I feel like I could pair this with the what is it, the rotten apple, the spoiled apple, the poison apple palette from Alien Cosmetics, and it would do a good job. Or I feel like I could do it with the Milkshake palette. I feel like this is a palette I can pair with a lot of things because it has the unique colors in it. So if I want a unique pop of color, or if I want just a cool dark matte to put on the lower lash line or something with a neutral eye look, I feel like I could pull this palette in and it would give me that. So I feel like she did a great job curating this palette. I am so glad I got my hands on it, even though it took me 500 years. It was definitely worth the wait. I do love the look she does. I'm hoping she does a new look because she just put up a video saying that they had restocked her palette. So I'm like, I want to see if she's going to do some more looks in it. So I actually probably watch that tonight on my break at work. Because I got to go to work Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday I have. Wednesday and Thursday I'm telling me the day off. But the next palette I have to talk about, and I feel like this shouldn't be a surprise either because this is the palette I did a lot of looks with as well because I really like the quality of the palette and I really like the color story of the palette. This is my type of palette. This is the Club Nebula and Kaleidos and Jessica palette. This is what it looks like on the inside, and this is definitely a color story I can get down with. You see all these gorgeous dark mattes, first of all, like, cause people don't want to put dark mattes in palettes. She gave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like a good version. A majority of the mattes in here are dark, which I can definitely appreciate. Thank you, Angie. Thank you. I'm glad someone gets it besides Karen and I. Someone needs to get it besides us. Anyway, so it looks nice, and they have all these shimmers to put on top. And I like the way she set it up too, because it's like this row, you know, you can get a nice peachy corally look. That's one of her signature looks. And then this one is more like, the 2 top ones are my personal favorites, obviously, because it's like the purples and then you got the blues and the greens. So of course I like those, but I have actually done a couple of looks with the corally ones and the red, and I actually think it looks pretty nice. So it was a nice little variety of looks. I'm sorry, y'all, people outside making noise, but I think it's like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, so that's probably why. And so I think it looks really nice. I'm just trying to get done before the lawnmower man comes and start mowing the lawn, because child, ain't nobody got time. I'm not trying to hear it. It's not a vibe, and I will not be disrespecting in such a manner. But I know you hear that outside, so my apologies. So the last two I have are these two. Now I know it comes with 3 palettes, but I like these 2 palettes the best, and these were the 2 I was originally gonna buy, but then I just decided to buy all 3 because I was like, why are we gonna like miss out on one when, you know, I can review the whole collection and get a discount on it instead of buying 2 and, you know, then later on possibly regretting not having it. So this is the Quintessential palette. I was looking at this one and the other one I'm going to show you next at first, and I feel like it shouldn't be a surprise just based upon the color story. While I was looking at this one, you got some greens, you got some purples, then you got a nice little pinky shade. And it's really bright and nice. I really like the formula Sydney Grace. I tried a bundle from them a while ago, and then I bought Mel's palette, of course, because we know I love Mel Thompson. And then I have this Talia collection. I've done looks with all 3 of the palettes, and she commented on my video, and then she commented on my Instagram post that I made of the palette. So this is the Radiant Reflection. I'm sorry, I don't know what all that noise is outside. My apologies, because it's like I said, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. So what the hell are you doing up this time of morning? I don't know. I mean, I guess people are going to work. You know, I'm the weirdo that has to work in the middle of the night. But this is the Radiant Reflection palette. This is what she looks like. It's gorgeous. And I'm glad to have it in my collection. I'm glad I just went ahead and bought all 3, like I said, because I was like concerned about getting all 3. But then I ended up just biting the bullet and like, I'm just gonna buy them all 3, okay? Oh, y'all, I've been talking so long, the battery died. Let's get to the last portion that we need to talk about, which is the luxury palettes. I know, right? This is the song that never ends. Because I feel like I've been up here talking forever, honey. I mean forever. So we only have 4 luxury palettes. It shouldn't take that long. And they're luxury based upon their price point. So we're going to start off with the Patrick Ta one. This was, again, one of the first, I think I was one of the first people to get this video up that looked like my skin tone anyway. This is what she looks like on the inside. What is this palette called? The Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. It is absolutely stunning, gorgeous. I mean, look at how gorgeous that is. I've done a couple of looks with it, and I think it looks amazing. I definitely am happy that I got my hands on it. I wish it was more of a mauve tone palette. Like, I like Huda Beauty's new nude, because, yeah, so like I was saying, I prefer mauves when it comes to nudes. But the next palette I have to talk about is from the Rosy Mauveous type family, and I feel like y'all should have known this was coming. So we got the Pat McGrath. What is this? The this should be the number 8, right? And this is number 8. This is the the Divine Rose 2 Artistry palette. And I got the limited edition rose gold packaging. But look at it. Look how stunning it is. Like, you see, you look in the pan and it's green. When you look there, it's pink. So that's how you do it. Chromie goes. This is what she looks like on the inside. This is the palette that I really like to use when I want to be unique, but at the same time I know I need to be toning it down and not be going crazy, because that way I can use that unique shade like in the inner corner instead of all over the lid, and I can still use like the neutrally tones. And sometimes I'll mix it with the original Divine Rose palette, but since this is the palette that came out this year and not the Divine Rose, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, speak on this one. So this is another luxury palette that I really like to use. I keep in my collection. Please keep in mind that oh wait, no, we're not gonna do that palette. We'll do that palette last. So the second to last palette I have is the Venus in Flores Luxe quad. This is the Vixen quad. I'm not even gonna try to say the first part of the name, but I know this is really boring, but the shimmers in here what makes this palette. Like this shimmer right here, oh my god, do y'all see it? Like, when you look at it, it's gold. I mean, when you look at it, it's pink, but if you look in the mirror here, it's like gold. I'm just like, yes, that shimmer makes this palette for me. And that shimmer right here makes this palette worth it to me. Because I can put like this all over the lid. I can put this in the outer V and dust it in the crease. Put one of these in the inner corner, and that's like an eye look. And it's a really simple eye look, but it still gives me some pizzazz and jazziness that I feel like I need when I do an eye look. Because it's like, I hate just having a boring eye look. So that's not going to cut it at all. But the fact that it has that unique and wonderful shimmer, that's what makes it lovable and wonderful for me. Okay, so the last palette I have to talk about, please keep in mind, my Circle Local does not look the way it's supposed to. I changed mine out just because, if you all did not know, I do not like the color orange. I'm not big on oranges. That's why you hardly if ever see me using any oranges. I usually use them in like spring, usually use them in like summer looks. And I usually, if you haven't noticed, to put them with yellows and reds. I don't just use orange on its own. I'm not a huge orange fan. So with the Circle Local palette, mine is not going to look the same. So I just wanted to tell you now. But I took some of the shades from the Tropic palette out of mine. I'm sorry, Out of the Tropic palette and put it in mine. So mine actually looks like this. And I like this color story way better just because, like I said, I don't like orange. However, this is a gorgeous palette. And the formulas in this was really nice. I have not used it since I switched it out to make it look the way that I wanted it to look like this. Although I feel like the two purples at the bottom are looking similar. In the pan, whereas this one is the matte. And this one is like the shimmer that came in this palette, if I remember correctly. Because I took this shade and this shade, or was it the light purple shade? It was one of these purple shades, and this shade right here I took out of the Natasha Denona, sorry, this shade right here. I took 3 shades out of the Tropic palette and put them in here. If I remember correctly, it was this one, and then this one right here, because those are some of the best shades out of there. So I felt like it would go better in this palette for me, and I would like it better that way. But I was telling y'all, I feel like the was it the Club Cabana palette looks really similar to this one if I had kept the shades in there like I was supposed to. And I'll show it to you so you can see what I'm talking about. Like if it was in there the way it's supposed to with the oranges and stuff, I feel like this would be a good dupe for that. I might, like I said, just take them out and put them back the way they're supposed to be just for the picture, and then put them back the way I want them to be. But if it was in there the way it was supposed to be, it would look somewhat similar to the original Circle Local palette. But that is the last palette I have to talk about. I know I have rambled long enough, child. I am tired of hearing myself talk, so I can only imagine how you feel. If you made it this far, thank you so much, because honey, it's going to be a long one. I hope you all enjoyed this video, though. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I promise I will try to condense it down when it comes to the end of the year, and hopefully I won't put any of these in there because they were in there earlier in the year, and then you can watch that. But like I said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Okay, be blessed.